Welcome, everyone. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the Trek Trio. We are reviewing Season 4, Episode 2, The Griffin Incident of Strange New Worlds, which dropped today. As always, spoiler alert, spoilers beyond this point. We are going to be recapping everything that we watched today. We're excited to have you with us. You may notice we are broadcasting from a new account. We have our new Trek Trio account. But not only do we have the Trek Trio on TikTok, it's also on Instagram. It's also on YouTube as well. So check out the Trek Trio at Instagram and YouTube. On that note, the person behind the Trek Trio is Mr. Bill. Bill Nye, the Star Trek guy, is our producer of Trek Trio, but for some reason he looks a lot like...
We had this conversation. So we had this conversation earlier. It's Bill Kenai, the Star Trek guy.
Bill Kenai, the Star Trek guy. Mr. Bill.
You see my last name, it makes sense.
And somehow Mr. Bill looks a lot like Ethan Peck tonight for some reason. So,
it's making me hot.
Yeah, right?
That just came out of my mouth. Sorry, guys. We're so lucky to have you with us, Bill. Thank you for joining our trio, Bill.
Happy to be here. Happy to
have Billiam Shatner. Now, this is cool. This kind of reminds me of college because, because I was a radio DJ in college, and you knew that your show was getting good ratings when they assigned you a segment producer, so that way you didn't have to be producing an on-air talent at the same time. So we're hitting the big leagues because now we
assigned ourselves the producer, but it's all right. I agree. We're making waves.
We are. Yep.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
Semantics.
So we're happy to have you all here. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be reviewing Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 2, The Griffin Incident.
Scary!
2 things before we keep going. 2 things. First off, April May needs to know your DJ name. Number 1. Let me finish the number 2, too. Everybody in the comments, I want to hear whether or not you liked this episode. So please tell us in the comments whether or not it was a good episode.
Yeah, and also
but I did not expect as much body horror as there was. I knew it was going to be horror, but the body horror and actually seeing my favorite characters knife themselves up, I had to close my eyes quite a few times. I did not like the body horror either, and I typically do, but the fact that it was characters that I really have a love for, I was in the feels.
For those of you watching. For those of you watching this later on YouTube, in the comments, the Ryan says it was a great episode, but his brain will never be the same. Katie says she did not like the body horror. Brandon said he liked didn't love. So yeah, a lot of people weren't fans of the body horror, and
it was too much. They relied on it too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also for everyone curious, I had no DJ name in college. I hosted a comedy show, so yeah. Well, here's Kristen.
Okay, Kristen, what's your DJ name?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. One person called me DJ Red Eye.
Okay.
But I cried a lot. But also, my DJ name was DJ Satara.
Beautiful.
Nice.
I love it.
Yep, love it. This was a really good
Why didn't you have a DJ name, Scott?
I didn't have one either.
Because I didn't host a music show. You don't need a DJ name when you're a comic.
I was the one dancing. I was not behind the music.
Yeah, we can see you dancing. We're all kind of bopping along, Yeah. So this episode was a really good psychological episode. In the comments, Tall Chris just said the psychological thing was interesting. I classify it more as a thriller. No, I take that back. I was going to say it's more of a thriller than horror, but no, it really was a horror film. It was Star Trek's first horror outing.
It was a mixture of everything. I mean, I want to say every single type of horror was in this episode. It was a charcuterie board of...
A charcuterie board of terror. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you for finishing my thought. That was good.
I wouldn't say it's its first horror, though, because this actual episode felt a lot like the episode where Sulu had a sword.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean-
it felt like one of the TNG episodes when Beverly had all the body bags.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I
For the ghost
thought about
story.
that episode too. But Kristen, like that's the thing, and you and I talked about this earlier. The thing is like if we want to draw parallels to the TOS, the Naked Now or Naked Time, where Sulu had his sword, that was just played off as a zany comedy. They were just drunk, and so was the sequel in Next Generation. This was a lot more terrifying. But we do have a question for the panel when we're done on that same subject. So stick around for that. Those of you who are watching us live. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, leave a comment and let us know what you thought of this episode as well.
I also love when they repurpose the ship as a different set. That was
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Save that money.
Yeah, clever to be like, oh, like we'll just save money and shoot on the Constitution sets.
But they
again.
also kind of showed us. They showed us very big like views of the ship, which was cool. And a lot of the scenes they were really really small, and it was cool to see more of the ship.
Now, we also got to see the shuttle bay, and I don't remember seeing the shuttle bay in Strange New Worlds. Now, if anyone in the comments wants to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing the shuttle bay in Strange New Worlds before. But that could be me. I don't know.
I don't recall, but my memory is not the best.
Yeah. So let's get started. Let's start with the recap. First, I can tell you, I don't think it's going to take us an hour to do the teaser because it was a pretty short. It was a short teaser this time. Act 1 only began at 9 minutes 49 seconds. So it was a shorter teaser this time. But let's talk about the recap because the recap favored Lon. But La'an is hard to say, so I'm just going to say Lon. The recap favored La'an. And we see her shooting her shot with Kirk. And of course, he has to break her heart and says that he's with Carol and Carol's pregnant. So the first mention of Carol, Marcus, and David. We see her, saying how she just wants to keep things chill with Spock. So fair. But at that same point, though, like I have to ask, is La'an stable enough to even be in a relationship, honestly? Because I don't think she is.
No, especially not after this episode.
Yeah.
I have to say about all three of the people on this ship, none of them are stable enough to be in a relationship right now.
They should have not been alone at all. I know they were giving him a ride, right? But like those three should not have been alone. It was a recipe for disaster. This triangle of a love story. I genuinely thought this episode was gonna end up being about their like triangle.
Yeah.
But I was wrong.
When they were together on the shuttle, I thought that too. It's like, oh, this is gonna be really awkward.
Yeah,
Especially we're jumping ahead though, but. We also get a recap of Lon punching the dinosaur. And then we get the whole thing about she feels different. We again get a recap of the whole she was more aggressive after being Vulcan, stuff like that. So for those of you who saw our live last week or you watched our recap or some of our shorts, something is going on with Lon, and they are establishing an arc for this season. Whether or not it is resolved this season or continues in the next season still remains to be seen. But we're like our group has been trying to pick up as many clues and breadcrumbs as possible over the last 3 years of Strange New Worlds. And we're going to try to present them all together later. But there's a long arc for Lon, and we're going to see more of it. And this episode is a big, big, big part of that. So spoiler alert. We move into the teaser. Any other notes on the recap before we get started with the real episode?
No. I mean, it's pretty standard. We've seen her do that. I mean, we've seen the recap more or less quite a few times at this point.
Yeah. So now, Heather, Kristen, have either of you seen the original Alien movie from 1979 with Sigourney Weaver, the very first one? What about you,
Bits
Kristen?
and parts.
Okay. Those of you
I'm not a horror fan. The biggest horror that I like is the house on whatever, the Hill House on Netflix, all right? That's the biggest one I like. And that's just because, like, we were talking about it this week, and we were having a conversation, my friend and I, about how sleep paralysis actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the biggest one because they have the redneck lady. And I had to watch that every single day in the light because that scares the crap out of me because
That
it's happened
sounds
so many
scary.
times for me.
Yep. So I got a lot of hints in the first couple seconds of this episode for the opening of the original Alien movie. You just get empty space, and like we hear the signal, which you don't normally hear in the Alien movie, but you just kind of get an empty expanse of space as this episode's beginning. And as we hear the beacon in the background, like we're already unsettled, right? Like they really leaned into every horror trope, every element of horror to keep us completely unsettled. This episode had jump scares. It had X-Files style music, and we're going to talk about the X-Files here in a little bit. And so we really got a good unsettling opening. And so, Heather, you thought this was going to be a love triangle when we saw all of them on the shuttle, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really weird how they framed it, to be fair.
But in the beginning of it, are we in, because at the beginning, Spock is like, they're in a shuttle, which can't be that big, and he's whispering to her, like, are you okay? So even at that point, like, I'm still thinking that something's gonna happen where, I don't know, I thought maybe since they've, like, Spock and Kirk have connected, that maybe it would be, like, literally become, like, a three-way love-way triangle, but it did not.
Well, honestly, like the way that they framed it really kind of freaked me out, though, and it didn't really kind of put in that love triangle kind of thing as well. Yeah. The reason for that, for me saying that, is it kind of looked like it was them against him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The framing. So they had him all the way on one side, and they had them together. And of course, you know, we understand that Spock and Lon are together, but it was really like it was going to be a fight somewhere.
Yeah, he was standing behind her very awkwardly, almost like a little child, like Spock was.
Yeah.
I did not see what they were setting this up for. I was totally wrong.
Yeah. Spock was a backseat sensor
reader. Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah. But also, I wrote down, it's like, well, he is the science officer. Why should he not be reading out sensor readings anyway? But the way he was hovering over Lon was, yeah.
He's got a chair. Go sit in it.
Yeah.
I did not like Kirk being the one that did the log at the beginning. He sounded like a robot. I didn't like it.
Okay, so this is going to be another question for the panel later on. And again, those of you watching us on YouTube, let us know and tell us in the comments now. Do you like episodes where James T. Kirk appears? Because there's a lot of people who don't like that how much as Kirk is in Strange New Worlds. There's a funny meme that says, why are you always on my ship? And it's like Pike facing Kirk, right? And I even wrote down, it's like, does Kirk spend any time on his own ship? Like,
I love Kirk being on the ship. I'm sorry. I know that this is like a thing, but I love it because honestly, ever since Pike went into the future and saw him, I just feel like he just wants him to be a part of his learning, because even though like the way that Kirk did it, he wants him to make sure that Kirk has that feeling of whatever Pike is.
Yeah, and that makes sense, but it's still, sometimes I feel it could detract from the other characters. That being said,
Paul Wesley. I think that's the reality of it.
So someone in the comments,
ready for him either, to be fair.
I liked learning more about the backstory and just kind of imagining like how they became what they are in the original series. But sometimes, I don't know, I did prefer the Kirk in Yesterday's Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Mm-hmm. All right, anyway, getting on to it. We're going on an away mission. Woohoo! After 9 years, we find a ship.
Yeah. I guess it's in uncharted space, so it makes sense. But how do you not find this thing? It was giving out a signal.
Yeah, there was a distress call or something like that. Yeah.
Was it? We get on to the ship and everything is technically off. Was it actually giving a signal?
Yeah, it was.
I thought they found it. I don't know.
But before we get to that point, let's talk about that as they're planning their little away mission, and Lon's bitching about there's not enough flashlights, which, by the way, how many flashlights are supposed to be in a shuttle kit?
Yeah, she could have reprimanded the officer who forgot the flashlight.
Yeah. There's two on the ship. Yeah, but here, Jim Kirk whips out his bag and he says, luckily, I was a Boy Scout. Which
I love that.
Which is funny because in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, David Marcus tells his mom, hey, you remember that overgrown Boy Scout you used to hang out with? And Carol Marcus said that Jim Kirk was many things but was never a Boy Scout. is that a continuity error or was she being sarcastic? Because Kirk may have been always prepared, but he never gave off Boy Scout type material, right? So I won't call it a continuity error. I call it maybe more of a retcon that Carol Marcus was being a little sarcastic in the moment.
She was being spicy. She was being spicy. Come on.
She was spicy for good reason. She was spicy. And one thing, does anyone else get satisfaction when you see all 3 department uniform colors on screen at the same time? We had yellow, blue, and red at the same time.
Like, the primary colors are back. Let's go.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That happened all the time in the movies. So I love that. I was always watching them like when they were doing the spacesuits to fly down to the during the jumping. I was just like, yes, every single color's out here.
Yep. And keep in mind that in the 2009 Star Trek reboot, when they're doing their orbital jump to the platform, the red shirt is the one who got pulled into the flames. Of course, the red shirt, right?
What was it? Right? There was an episode recently that I was watching that definitely had a red shirt thing happen to it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. So again, before we get onto the ship, so Heather, to your point, you mentioned that, maybe is this going to be a weird love triangle, right? Well, as Kirk is talking about being a Boy Scout and getting all of his supplies out of his bag, it sounds like there's some trouble between Kirk and Carol Marcus. And it's like, okay, so are we going to have awkward moments here? Because Lon shot her shot, Kirk wasn't available, but now Lon's with Spock, but now Kirk seems available, right?
Is this when they were walking through the corridor?
Yeah, it's when they're still in the shuttle.
Okay, in the shuttle. Okay.
They were talking about the flashlights, and he's just like, yeah, Carol doesn't want me back. Kind of, or we're having problems, something like that, one or the other. Yeah. And he was playing with this little toy that he got
for his boy, for David.
David, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was playing with this little toy, and they had a full shot straight on the toy. And I was like, is this the Danger Will Robinson toy? But at the same time, full shot.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Does the toy ever make it to him, man?
Yep. What I did enjoy about the first part of the teaser was there was a bookend. So as Kirk is giving his log, he says, "I can't help but feeling I'm in the wrong place," right? And then while they're right before they're trying to put together the kit, Lon says, "We're in the wrong place at the wrong time." And that was a really clever bookend of dialogue like that, where it's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are going to be in the wrong place for sure."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that though.
Yeah. Anything else before we beam down to the ship?
Hold on.
Is this before
Admiral Smiley?
What?
Who was Admiral Smiley?
Just some guy that Kirk studied and wanted to meet, I guess.
Is this a real person?
No, I think it's the first mention of an Admiral Smiley, but then again, we know that Mirror Miles O'Brien was called Smiley in Deep Space Nine, but I think this is the first time we've heard of Admiral Smiley.
What did we think about? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's in the way future, isn't it? There's no way it's O'Brien.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah. And just want to note that Spock has sent out their location and information to Enterprise to make sure that Enterprise knows that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I stand by the fact that the ship, because of the way the ship is, wasn't actually putting out a distress signal. It was just something that they could see.
Well, there was also a little flashy beacon on it, so it looked like it was an extra. It looks like there was something that wasn't originally part of the ship. So when they beam down and they go see the signal, it's actually a device sat on top of the console. So it may actually not be part of the ship, but it could have been some kind of trap that was left behind. So the ship itself was not powered to send out a signal, but whatever this little teeny device was, you could tell it didn't look like it belonged there.
Well, yeah, but I still stand by. It probably wasn't actually doing it.
Okay.
Maybe?
What if it was left from the other people who had visited?
Again.
No, to Kristen's point, we know that there were Klingons and Vulcans who visited the ship, so it could have definitely been a supernatural trap to lure them in. Yeah. I mean, also to Kristen's credit, the minute Spock put his hand over it, it stopped and the ship powered up, even though the ship wasn't even supposed to have power to begin with.
Wasn't actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would make sense because none of this episode really made sense. It's space.
Mm-mm. Yep. Didn't make a lot of sense at all.
There's a real life Admiral Smiley in world.
Yeah, there could be.
There
is. Yeah.
In world.
We'll have to look up Admiral Smiley.
Eventually.
So I wrote down missing ships suddenly being found again are never a good thing.
Yeah.
They beamed down. They thought they'd be floating, but they're not. And we already get a little spooky because Kirk hears a baby crying. So already it's getting a little freaky. Now, when they were walking in a corridor, a little bit after Kirk heard a baby crying, did you guys notice that there was a really creepy alcove and it looked like there was a person in it?
I was like, this doesn't make any sense for them to do this whole entire section. They're just like doing a montage of them walking through different corridors and they kept shining the light in it. And then they didn't even pay attention. I'm like, is that a body or is that supposed to be where a spacesuit should be?
It was a spacesuit, but it still was very freaky imagery, at least for us, right?
I kept seeing
Could've done a few more.
I was looking at every scene trying to find something scary. This episode had me on the edge of my seat, man.
Yeah, but they didn't have anything scary. I wanted them to pull.
That was the problem.
I really wanted them to pull the same thing as Hill House. I was like, okay, cool. They had 13 to 30 people in the background just to make it freaky.
Well, there's The Shining, the ballroom scene in The Shining. But yeah, but before we get too far ahead about that, where are we at here? I thought their masks, their little away mission masks were really cool. Those were neat. That was good. That was good from the costume department. And I also really enjoyed the transition between scenes, like how they switched. It's like how the light kind of wiped and they kept moving to each scene. That was really cool. And then they mentioned Division 12.
Yeah.
And Division 12 was mentioned one time last year. It was mentioned by Ortegas, and I think it was
before that. Did you know that they found a teddy bear? And I was like, is that Julian's teddy bear? I have to say that because that was before Division 12, and then now you can say Division 12.
Yeah, they did find the teddy bear, which I think was supposed to be in the captain's ready room, but I don't think it was Kukulala. But I did see the teddy bear. Yeah.
Did you learn that this week? Because I showed up for something where they asked what the teddy bear's name was. I think that was Kate's.
Yeah, our friend in the comments are saying that they want to spin off of Division 12. So here's the thing: it's like Division 12 was mentioned by Ortegas last year, and now we get another mention here as well. Like it's dedicated to strange phenomena, so it's like the Star Trek X-Files, and also it's just like Chekhov's gun, right? Like, okay, we've made it a point to mention Division 12 last year. Now we mentioned it again this year. It gets 2 or 3 more mentions in this episode. So what are we setting up for Division 12? So what are we setting up for later? Now we know the franchise is ending. So we know there's not going to be a spin-off. So what are we going to see in Strange New Worlds? What are we going to see in Season 4, Season 5? That Division 12 has something to play into. But I would watch the shit out of a Division 12 spin-off. I would love a Star Trek X-Files spin-off.
I am betting you they initially wanted to do that, but then now they got everything blocked, and now they can't do it.
I bet they could have been seeding that as well.
Maybe. You're right, because they wrote this a long time ago.
A while ago, yeah.
They did.
You never know. In the future, we can still get it.
I hope so.
Nothing is final. We get what the plot asked for.
We do. So we get our first big nope moment as they're walking down the hallway because all of a sudden there's someone just walking ahead of them, which is like who the hell's that? And at first I was wondering, did only Lon just see her or did everyone see her, right? Because only Kirk heard the baby crying. So is this person who's walking only visible to Lon? But it was clear that everyone saw her.
They ran after her.
Yeah. And then this person says that she's been waiting for them, and then she walks into a wall. And right before we get to opening credits, we actually get X-Files style music, which was really, really cool. And we get another X-Files motif later in the episode that's even more satisfying.
I don't remember X-Files enough. All right, let's go.
But I really enjoyed the music in this episode. I thought it was very nice.
Yeah, music was really solid. So let's see. We're in Act 1, about 9 minutes 49 seconds into the episode, and apparently everyone saw this girl, and she disappeared into a wall, and now we're talking about negatively charged ions, and I want to know, what are negatively charged ions? And Kirk immediately went to ghosts. So, like, is the existence of ghosts confirmed by the 23rd century? Why did Kirk immediately jump to ghosts when he heard negatively charged ions? I thought that was interesting.
You're right.
I mean, there is a lot of science behind ghosts in general. So, like, a lot of people are trying to figure out whether or not they're real, or if they are something else. To be fair, they could be anything. There are times, and it's absolutely true, that nobody can explain and something falls off a wall. It really is a true thing. And we're just like, okay, is that the vibrations that are underneath it? They found there was once a science thing that had a ghost in it. Yes, I'm a little obsessed. There was once a science thing that had a ghost in it. And they were like, oh, it's a ghost. And this, like, one statue would just turn around in a circle the whole entire time. They found it was just because the vibrations caused it to turn around into a circle.
Huh. That's cool. Now, for those of you following at home, I really hope you enjoyed our Science of Fear video. Our little group has decided that every week we're going to do a lesson that is somehow tied to the episode. Last week, you got the science lesson about Valles Marineris. And this week we were debating, do we want to do a video, do we want to do a lesson about ghosts, or do we want to do something that's more rooted in science? So that's how we ended up with the Science of Fear. And we have other things planned for every episode, again, based on titles and based on rumors that are there. We'll see if we're right.
We're doing our research.
Yeah, we are. And I love that there's rumors and speculations online, because it's really fun kind of research this.
Oh, yeah.
Especially considering AI keeps telling us stuff, and we're like, oh yeah, AI.
Yep. And my wife Toaster, she's excited for the next one as well. And Toaster said that Toaster in the comments said that negatively charged ions could be your least favorite coworker. True, very true.
And Brandon's explaining what negatively charged ions are tied to, which is electrical charge, shoes, and thunder.
And shores.
Shores, not shoes. Okay, so it was shores, not shoes. I thought that was weird.
So we're at about 9 minutes, 30 seconds into the episode. This random girl just walked into a door. We're scanning negatively charged ions. What are you all thinking?
We're looking for where she came from. Initially, I was like, okay, are we following it backwards? Because I did not hear like them saying we're following the negatively charged ion trail back to this other random door. Cool. Yeah. And this door looks way more suspicious, all right?
Yeah. They even said, it's like, well, the ions end here, so let's find where they begin. So yeah, they followed it backward. It happens.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. What about you, Heather? What do you think? What do you got about this before we get to sickbay?
That girl, they made her face look like a cracked porcelain doll. It was so scary.
I got Samara from the Ring vibes from her.
Yeah. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Kristen shook her head. Mind you, Kristen, I actually haven't seen The Ring because I don't like horror movies. I just know what Samara looks like, and she's just all white and weird looking. So yeah.
If anything, her face was more like the people that she showed her face to, and then they ended up looking like that.
Oh yeah.
See, that one they knew.
So let's see. I liked how Spock was
The door had duct tape all over it.
Spock was willing to admit that there was weird oddities aboard, but he was still being Spock about it. Like, he wasn't being like, "Oh, this is weird." It's like, yes, there are scientific anomalies on here, but it's like he's just being Spock about weird shit because, of course, he is.
I have a question because you already talked about the door. We have duct tape about the door in the chat. I gotta ask about this damn door. Okay, so we have shooting all around the door, right? We have Vulcan shooting. We have Klingon shooting. We have Starfleet shooting, right? Not one of them can get in or out of this door.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Lon and Spock, and they're just like, okay, so we're gonna open the door, and they did it within 2 seconds. How did they open the door so quick? How could like all these other creatures?
Are you sure they didn't get through the door?
I can answer that.
Okay.
Oh, how are you gonna answer that? Because it doesn't make any sense.
It let them in.
Maybe we don't go in. That's what makes sense. You're right.
You're right. You're right. It let them in. Also, I have another question. Okay, so I said earlier, I'm just going to break the therapy thing out. So I said earlier, this is a therapy ship. 100% this is a therapy ship, and everybody gets their therapy in this ship is what's happening. Because you've got Spock who's trying to figure out whether or not he is...
Oh, look, we have a crash out counter.
Thanks,
By the way, Bill, Ethan Peck is still on your screen.
I know, I can't get him off.
No.
I can't get him off, and I don't want to screw up the live. I set him up before I started the live, and I think he's there
I don't
forever.
mind.
No, every week Ethan Peck's good up here. Anyway.
Oh, good God, I hope not.
Kristen, keep going.
Anyway, so I was watching this, and I realized at some point where Spock is talking to somebody, and I'm just like, this is a therapy. It's like straight up shit. And we've got Spock who's therapy, who can't figure out whether or not he's human or Vulcan. We've got Lon figuring out whether or not she's, because we've got it from the recap, whether or not she's a horrible person or not. And we've got Kirk figuring out whether or not he's a family man. Full therapy ship. We've got Kirk hearing baby. We've got Lon hearing like, oh yeah, you have to save everybody. But then she's just like, never mind. You know, it's just all of that. Anyway. You say the person, so you're saying that they got in there because the ship let them in. I want to know what therapy these Klingons, Vulcans, and other Starfleet had to go through where they were not allowed into sickbay.
Well,
I want to just know where they were just like, oh yeah, here's sickbay right here for you, but absolutely not. You're never gonna. And you know from later in the episode, in the straight up later, when Lodge tried to get back to the freaking main deck, she can't get anywhere because it was just like, no, we're staying on this one deck. And I was just like, what did they do where they made them just stay right there in front of sickbay? Okay.
So that being said, I don't know if that counts as 2. I think that's just a long extended crash out. But
it was called
think about it. Think about it this way. We don't know the order of events with that door, right? We see different blasts. We see something
I
welded.
Your comment. I didn't have any until you said that.
I hope more are coming.
I saw your comment I said earlier I didn't have any crash outs because I was like, this is a good episode. But no, until you said that, the crash out came.
So we don't know the order of the door. We don't know when it was welded. We don't know who was trying to blast it out. Was it re-welded again? We don't know if Starfleet welded it, the Vulcans welded it, the Klingons welded it. We really don't know, right? Clearly, someone did not want that door to open. But later in the episode, we do see that Klingons and Vulcans were clearly affected by this ship. We just don't know the order of events, and we really don't know what really happened. So I still stand by the ship let them in.
Definitely.
It's like,
you're right.
Yeah.
I just didn't, for some reason, even though I said a lot of this before, I didn't think about it right now. Okay.
but that's why we do these lives, because we all find stuff we didn't think about. Because even when I did the second watch through of this episode and we're texting each other, you pointed out the therapy ship. I'm like, damn, you're right. This is Lon is a monster. Kirk is worried about being a father. Spock is worried about his human side or whatever, right? And so, yes, this brought out every single fear. This is fear ship, right? Therapy ship.
Considering that Trek Trio is technically Bill, you said ship or ghost. And honestly, I think the ghost is a part of the therapy. So I don't think she was the thing. I really don't think she's the thing.
I think the ship and the ghost are one and the same now. Okay. Of course, they weren't before. Not every ship leaves space dock haunted, but it's just like the Overlook. Some kind of The Shining, for anyone who doesn't get that reference. Some force of evil possessed that hotel, right? Yeah. We're literally on the space version of The Shining. Something possessed that hotel, something possessed that ship. And the Overlook drove every caretaker mad. Before it was Del Grady, it was Jack Torrance, it was other people as well. It drove them mad, and then this ship drove people mad as well. We got The Shining in space, honestly. And like room 237 in the Overlook let in Danny Torrance. The Overlook manifested alcohol for Jack, even though they got rid of everything before Jack Torrance moved in. So it let them in, it drew them in, and it manifested stuff that wasn't there, but was there.
Yeah. I do like Brandon saying the same way Pennywise is a therapist.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
That was funny.
So, let's see, where are we at here? We hear more phantom baby crying for Kirk.
Where it gets interrupted by La'an.
We get our first jump scare. It's like Kirk's just kind of staring off, and all of a sudden you see a hand on his shoulder and that little thunk music, which is what I don't like in horror movies is I don't like jump scares, and I don't like the scores that go with jump scares. I don't like the music that comes with a jump scare. That's the big thing I don't like in horror movies. What about you, Heather?
I hated all the jump scares. Hated it.
So this one didn't really jump scare me, but when jump scares happen exactly right, I hate them. They're the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I love a scary movie, but if it's got me jumping, I don't like it. Ugh.
I'm not a jump scare fan either. Even Sixth Sense, which wasn't written as a jump scare movie, the music. Just the music, James Newton Howard's score, just like just hits you in certain spots and just makes you scared. Yep. So we get our first jump scare of the moment. And then they're in sickbay. They're trying to work things out, and then of course,
it's absolutely empty. There's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there now. However, we're going to come back to that because in the comments. I
have it in my notes. Midbay is empty now.
It's always just for now.
Because in the comments, someone even said that the ship also hid things that were there but not able to be seen, just like the Overlook as well. Oh, but then
thanks, Jen. Yes, my backyard is scary and jump scares.
Yeah, did everyone see Kristen's backyard? There's people giggling. There was something in a coat behind. Like, ooh, that's scary shit, Kristen. Damn.
For real.
I like my little coat. My little coat person. It's funny. Good jokes.
And then classic horror bad idea. They split up. Do not split up in a horror movie.
Initially, when they said it, though, like, I thought all three of them were splitting up. No, it was just, like, Kirk and La'an so that they could get out their little bit of a drama love thing going on. And and they left Spock behind so he could figure out what's going on and be like, something's happening behind me. What was the name that was on the
I was
back?
actually waiting to see if some shenanigans were going to go down with Kirk and La'an. Now, what did happen between them was not what I was expecting, but I was like, oh, they're going to go off by themselves. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
did that.
My response was, nothing makes sense, but let's just make it so we can't make sure everybody's accountable. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. But Spock and Lon did have a cute couple moment before they split up. That, you know, she gave him a little kiss and said,
Yeah,
"Be careful." That was
they're
cute.
not just. They keep trying to set it up like they're just fun and it's not like a serious relationship. But then they kiss each other bye, make sure each other's safe. Like I would say they are in a relationship.
I would say they're in a relationship too, but if anyone saw our predictions video from last week, again, about Lon, and it's on my profile too, so check out my profile, and I don't think we put it on YouTube, but we will. Something is going to happen with Lon that's going to turn Spock into the cold, steely Vulcan that we get in TOS. And as I said before, we are not going to emotionally recover from what happens. So I feel bad for Spock, you know? So Heather, anything else in sickbay before everyone splits up?
Before everybody splits up, no.
Okay, what's after everybody splits up?
Well, I mean,
So-
it's like as soon as they split up, the body bag that was a Vulcan body bag moves, and then Spock isn't like, hey, wait, maybe we should stick together. He just stays.
Well, I mean, honestly, he's still half Vulcan, and he's still turned around going like, there's probably a logical reason for this.
Negatively charged ions.
Yeah.
Negative
But that little body bag falling down, it's like, oh, there's got to be a logical explanation that just fell down. Did someone just brush by it when they left? Probably.
And
But
it said Vulcan on it.
And
it did. There was a
he did
Vulcan
pick it
crew
up.
member.
He did pick it up and put it back down. Maybe he just put it down wrong. Like, that's why it fell.
Yep. It's a Vulcan crew member. I get it.
Nobody was watching it. Nobody was watching it.
Nah, I would be not on this ship anymore. As soon as the baby cried, I would have been up back in the shuttle.
Especially when no one else heard it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
So as Lon and Kirk
I
are
think
moving...
they tried, but they couldn't.
Oh, yeah. You're right. What happened to their shuttle?
Oh, we'll find out in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so Lon and Kirk are heading toward the bridge, on the bridge. I don't remember exactly where they are, but like all of a sudden Kirk is saying him and Carol are having problems, and also Carol just got approved for her dream project, which is Project Genesis.
Yeah.
So we kind of
Project
get the
Genesis reference.
in-canon origins of Project Genesis. In the comments, Tall Chris said he could see Heather sprinting back to the shuttle. Yes, I could see that too. Especially given how tall Heather is, she would leave both me and
Scooby-Doo
Kristen
style.
behind easily.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
run like
like
an
she would've,
ostrich.
like-
but-
I feel like Heather would have like DL gone to the Martians the week before or whatever. And just was like, hey, can I have your technology to get through the hole? I just need to get off this place.
Yeah. I need to phase off the shit.
But
Dinosaurs
in the
are less scary than this
conversation
man.
between Lon and Kirk, there was some very interesting foreshadowing. Carol is nervous about Kirk being in Starfleet. She says she's afraid that Kirk is going to die alone. Now, let's remember in Star Trek V, Kirk told Spock and McCoy that he always thought he was going to die alone. So could this be where Kirk got that notion? He got it from Carol, that she was terrified that he was going to die alone. And we're going to come back to that near the end of the episode as well.
Yep.
Yep.
We're going
Heather,
to totally come
anything-
back to that.
Heather, anything from you?
I just ate a grape, sorry. No.
Mine
Okay.
says Kirk punks out on trying to ask Lon a question.
Yes, I wonder what he was
I
going to
forgot
ask.
about that.
I wonder what he was going to ask her, because again, he was just like, "Are you afraid to go?" I don't have a flashlight.
Yeah, that
but
was
are you
not
afraid
what
to
he
go?
was going to say. And
No,
I
it
wonder
wasn't,
what he
but
was.
But I wonder what it was. Maybe he was
just
going to
punks
ask.
out.
Maybe he was going to ask what, how her and Spock are really doing. I don't know. Tell us in the comments, whether you're watching this on YouTube later or you're watching this live right now. Tell us in the comments what you think Kirk was going to ask Lon during this. So at this point, Spock is doing some research, and then Lon finds out about Rose Harper, their security chief,
Red shirt.
who she sounds suspiciously a lot like Lon. And then they find out how everyone on the ship got unalived, including 287 were just beamed into space.
13 strangulations, 8 stabbings, 287 beamed in space. I'm just like, dude, the 13 and the 8, cool. Not cool, but cool.
Cool.
The 287, just straight up, like, did they even have that technology?
Yeah, all you gotta do is just lock on and beam.
Yeah, alive.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being on any ship after knowing that information? I'm on the ship. Da, 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 da. Oh my god, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
What
question,
the hell?
and my question is
How
who
did I
did
get out
what?
here?
It's like,
That would be like the first 2 seconds you have, and then all of a sudden completely frozen. How did I get out here?
Yeah. I don't want to be here anymore.
yes.
No.
In our comments, Katie brought up, did anyone see the creepy figure in the background behind Kirk and Lon? Yes, I did. And it wasn't the spacesuit. It was a blink and you miss it in the shadows. There was a figure behind them, and then they turned around and shined the light, and nothing was there.
I blinked.
Ooh,
Oh my god, I missed that one. I was looking for
Mhm.
those things and I missed that one.
I was
Yeah.
looking for them in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the fun computer graphics that Spock was looking at. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
little red dudes and little green dudes. And then the little green dudes turned into red dudes. Oh man, that's not cool.
And then 287 red dudes are beamed into space.
I love how the computer was like, oh, here's like a whole stack of little green dudes. Okay, we're gonna just take out like 13 of those randomly and put them over here. And then all of a sudden it was like 200. We're just gonna take them all out randomly and just put them in a huge line over here. I was like,
Yeah.
that's cute. I could have done those graphics.
You could have. So now we're back in sick bay.
I want to be a part of this team.
We're back in sick bay, and Spock is trapped. The doors have now closed. He cannot communicate out.
Oh,
And all of a sudden, the body bags are full, and they're starting to bleed.
But he does
Not
call out for La'an, and then he calls out for Jim. He said
Mhm.
Jim.
and he gets none. I do have to note that Harper was, as far as Kirk is associated, he thinks that she was imagining all the incidents.
Kirk thinks that Harper is crazy.
Yep. And everybody with outbursts were cleared of medical duty and put back on duty. So cleared for medical.
Which I've been wondering this whole time who all went. We still don't know what happened on the ship. We know how people were unalived. We don't know who unalived them, right? Did everyone turn on each other, or was Harper the caretaker of the Griffin, like Jack Torrance was a caretaker of the Shining?
I don't think Harper did it. You want to know why?
Yeah.
According to the storyline, this is absolutely just like not completely true. But Harper was put into her own room and everything was taken away from her. So how did she beam 200 and change people off the ship if everybody already thought she was the crazy one?
I got an answer for that.
Go.
Because the ship told her to do it.
In The Shining, Wendy locked Jack Torrance in the freezer. Now, this is an empty hotel. The only 3 corporeal beings in this hotel are Wendy, Danny, and Jack. Okay? The ghost let him out of that freezer. She put in a gigantic steel hook to make sure he couldn't open the freezer from within.
He's the ghost.
The freezer locked from the outside, and the Shining's spirits let him out. So, if our theory is that Harper was the Jack Torrance of the Griffin, and yes, she was confined the quarters. And even in the comments, people are saying, well, she's chief of security, she can get around command lockouts. Maybe she could, but let's say that they removed her authorization codes.
That's what I'm thinking.
If we're taking elements from The Shining, the Griffin let her out, just like the Overlook let out Jack Torrance.
But that's the thing. The Overlook had actual legit ghosts. The Griffin, as far as we know right now, doesn't have ghosts. I mean, they do have the 13 and the 8, okay? I understand the 13 and the 8, but according to what we're talking about, they don't count. But she's the main ghost. So
But I mean, but here's the thing though, were the ghosts in the Overlook really there or not, right? It's like there's a lot of stuff that we saw that the people did it by their own hand here on the Griffin. But were those ghosts really there? That's the thing. So no, if our theory is that Harper was the only person driven mad and they isolated her, then obviously the Griffin let her out and she was the one who did it. That's my answer to your
We're
question.
going to have to get back to this because I don't want to harp for another 20 minutes on it. But
Heather, do you have notes about the bleeding body bags, Spock being trapped, Rose's logs, things like that?
I have one note in here that says, Spock, there's a girl behind you.
I love how Spock puts all his stuff down on the floor before the girl behind him.
So that was my note too. I wrote down nope at 1901. That was my.
Why are you putting your flashlight and your the thing to talk in? Why are you putting them both on the floor?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anything else, Heather? Because now T'Pring's there.
At this point is whenever I started to just really realize how beautifully written really Strange New Worlds is in general. The fact that the last episode we were able to get a dinosaur episode, and then this episode, which is super family friendly, and then the next one we get a horror episode, which still it's beautiful writing, but it's just amazing how one series can do such different episodes every week.
And next week, it is rumored that next week is going to be a Hangover style episode. So which is very appropriate with Star Trek Las Vegas happening next week. So that'll be really cool.
Spock does freak out and try to figure out where the bodies did come from, and he's like, transportation, right? Yeah, nope, nothing transported.
Well, Spock's trying to be logic about it, but we're about at Act 2, so 20 minutes. We're at Act 2. I'm kind of wondering, is T'Pring really there, or is Spock hallucinating? Right?
Oh, I was confused the whole time. I thought that maybe he had I thought she was actually there, and that it was because they shared conscious that he was able to pull her there.
See, yeah, and I was wondering that too. I was up until when we find out, I was really wondering, is T'Pring really, really there?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I wrote somewhere is clearly whatever is really manifesting in the ship, its origins are in sickbay. Now, yes, Kirk was hallucinating at the beginning, but everything kicked off the moment they entered sickbay. Right, so that's got to be the nexus of it. I feel
everything kicked off the moment that they started that Spock realized who Harper was.
Yeah,
but about Harper in sickbay. Then we could have said that it was started when they actually walked into one of the quarters in general, because whatever quarter that was, it could have been hers initially, and then they came back around to it.
Yeah,
the quarters were very bland.
Yeah, but it's clear that sickbay is a very important person of it. Very important location.
100%. Sickbay is an important person, but I think sickbay, again, we were talking about it, you have sickbay, you have the engine room, and you have, but also the engine room and deck 17, and you also have oh my god, why can't I remember what the main deck is called again? I don't know. Anyway, so you have all three of those places, but they were all associated with, sorry, Bill playing around on the screen. They were all associated with whoever needed what therapy.
Yeah,
True. I liked how you worded that.
me too. We get another mention of Division 12 between Lon and Kirk on the bridge. So again, another Division 12 reference, which again is going to make me sad that we never did get a spinoff for Division 12.
Yeah.
And now Lon and Kirk decide to split up. I'm like, don't split up. Now everyone is isolated on the ship, which is probably what the ship wanted to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, we also have Lon getting scared and immediately leaving because she does see Harper talking to her.
Well,
And
so
the shuttle is destroyed together before they
Yeah.
split.
What happened to
yep.
the shuttle? I'm still very confused about the shuttle.
it just got destroyed. It got banged up.
Oh, we don't know. It was just space.
I think
Just
the
space
shuttle
being
is
weird.
fine.
Yep.
I think the shuttle's fine because later on we're going to see other things that happen, and we know that when they are towing the thing away, that never happened.
Yep. The ship.
Oh.
Yeah. The ship showed them that their shuttle was destroyed. Yep.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this is there is a very, very important scene in sickbay with Spock and T'Pring, and this is going to be very important for the end of the
We got a
episode.
feet shot.
Well, it's very
Oh my
important
gosh, a
because
scary one though. I didn't think that was gonna be
She's just
spring.
Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold.
no. What's important is Spock's trying to make sure that she's real, right? His tricorder is saying that she's real. He's trying to make sure she's real. And T'Pring tells him a story of when she went hiking or something, and she had what would be called a panic attack, and how she was able to center her mind. And so this is a good reminder that Vulcans do have emotions, but they regulate them. But this moment is very, very important. So we're going to come back to that later.
It's the thing that actually made me realize that this was a therapy ship. I was sitting there going like, oh, she's technically helping him. She's like, the way that she's saying these things, she's helping him because he's potentially, like, if you look at him occasionally, he looks like he's kind of panicking a little bit. And she's going like, hey, we need to calm down. Everything needs to be okay, you know? And she was just being very helpful, and it was weird because, like, this is a scary show. Like, why is she helpful? Like, she's not being horrible. She's not being mean. Why is everybody messing with their cameras?
I thought I was backwards. So the thing is, though, is she still hurts him, right? But it's unintentional, and I have a good note about this. But with Lon in engineering now, and this is where we have kind of like our next freaky moment. What, Kristen?
I want to state this because this literally happens back to back. Spock, I am not an illusion, and then all of a sudden the shuttle, who blew up our shuttle?
Yeah,
that was literally back to back. And they only have 20 minutes of life support left, and we're at 21 minutes.
This was a good episode that took place in almost real time, which I think is really cool.
Oh yeah, because it was about an hour long episode, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Lon's in engineering, and we get a really freaky moment at 24 minutes and 5 seconds. I wrote down, that's not Spock, because there's that creepy hand on her shoulder, and it's like, ooh, that is not Spock, and she thinks it is.
And I don't know how she thought it was. Lon is like, we've seen her fight so many times. We just saw her punch a dinosaur in the last episode. You would think just any touching in the situation that they're in, that she would have like freaked out and turned around and at least looked at who was touching her.
Not to mention, there's a rando walking around the whole entire ship. You've got the two of them and a rando that could just be anywhere. And she's just like, I like this place.
The one time.
Gotta be Kirk and Spock.
No, you have to remember that right before she left the bridge, Lon told Spock to meet her in engineering. She didn't know that he couldn't get her message. And it was a very comforting hand placed on her shoulder, so she just assumed it was Spock.
Comforting or just a hand on her shoulder? It just looked like, I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know if it was comforting.
I don't know. Comforting, I would say, would be like somewhere around here, like.
Yeah, a whole arm, yeah. Or saying something using words are always comforting to me.
Yeah. And not being somebody else that I didn't expect.
Either way, Lon thought it was Spock, and it definitely wasn't Spock. And so she gets her first experience with Rose. We find out that Rose doesn't want whatever's affecting the ship to spread, but I wrote down who was driven mad first, but I think we answered that question. Yeah.
Definitely her.
Anything from you, Heather, before we go back to Kirk on the bridge?
No, I mean, my notes, she touched the ghost hand. I thought it was interesting that that Harper was really only coming after Lon. Because realistically, every time she popped up, it was when Lon was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harper looks at Lon and says the same thing that's happening to you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
100% that whatever happened on the ship locked in on Harper and it immediately locked in on Lon.
Yeah.
And Harper and Lon kind of look alike. They kind of sound alike. They were almost destined for this.
No, more destiny.
Like the plot wanted it to happen.
Yeah, that too.
Stop.
Yeah. So we see more of Kirk starting to crack. Like he hears David stuck in a console.
And then chases after it. You
Yeah.
see a baby's hand in a haunted ship, and you're gonna chase through some wires to get to it? Oh, not me.
Yeah.
When we get there, the little toy coming back and having it to a little moment. Oh my god, the framing is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The framing and blocking in this episode was incredible. It was really good. It looked really good. We get a creepy hand in the console. And earlier this summer, there were rumors that we would see David Marcus in Strange New Worlds. Well, all we saw was a hand and we heard crying. So I wonder if this is all we're going to see from David Marcus. It's like, oh, we're just going to see his hand? Okay.
I mean, it's not like we're going to see him as an adult.
Yeah.
Unless they're doing timey-wimey stuff again. It's not like we're going to see him as an adult.
Maybe. Yeah, we won't see him as an adult, that's for sure. But we'll probably, if there are more rumors about seeing David, maybe we'll see him as an infant. I don't know, but interesting.
Okay.
Let's see. We're back in sick bay. I'm wondering, how's T'Pring helping if she isn't really there, even though Spock has Reen saying she is? They're literally on other sides of the console, both touching wires. So I'm just kind of wondering how that's working.
You can't see the bodies in the room. If you can't see the bodies in the room, the thing's moving around, and also you see in the thing that says that there's the person there.
There it is, Chris.
Just staring, dude.
Yep. Mark it, Chris. Another Chris and Crash Out. I think we need to have a subcategory. I think we need to have a new category. There's crash outs. There is Scott caused crash outs, because I'm really good at crashing Kristen out sometimes. So it's like, so now I have caused 3 crash outs for Kristen here.
Then does it count as you having a crash out?
It counts, it just counts differently. It's like, is there a Scott caused crash out?
Right.
Maybe we need red alert, yellow alert, and
Right?
Will
Yeah.
we do an incident analysis later at some point? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, we could have analysis. Yeah. But
red
then
alert crash outs are for the show. Yellow alerts are for Scott.
But now all of a sudden T'Pring shoots him. She shoots Spock and he goes down.
Yeah, that was it. So I'm like, that's not T'Pring.
Yeah.
My response to that is, and T'Pring shot him.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
I wrote down, did she really shoot him? And that's at 27 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also have more Nope stuff behind Lon. That's what I wrote down, is like Nope. Because this is when she is surrounded by all of the unalived people on the ship, even some Klingons, even some Vulcans. Basically, anyone that ship affected is there, just like being surrounded by all the ghosts in the ballroom. Kristen.
Getting back to me talking about therapy, they're all saying to her, they're like, hey, look, you're fine. Everything's fine. You are not Khan. You are not a Romulan. You're not a monster. You are one of us.
Yeah.
And it's just the crew that's there. And it's just like, you're one of us. And she even says it later. She sees herself as like a Starfleet. That's her family. But it's just like, they're like literally trying to get it through to her brain. Like, you're fine. Everything's fine. You're not a monster.
Are they though? It's
You're
like
fine. You're just seeing all these unalived
Other
people
that look like monsters. And yeah, you're one
Right?
of us. We're monsters.
it's
Just
very
accept it.
it's very malevolent therapy.
No.
Yeah.
I felt
And
like
Lon
we were
is-
feeding into the fact that she already felt like there was something wrong with her. I thought that it was a little icky what the ghost was doing to her.
The thing is though, is by the time this
What
episode is
about-
over, Lon is probably even more convinced there's something wrong with her, sadly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I actually said at the end of it, I said, I think that Spock was able to overcome, and he actually overcame. Kirk did whatever Kirk did, and then Lon failed.
Mm-hmm.
Just failed therapy. She failed therapy.
She
Oh
did.
no.
Yep. So, and so with Lon being surrounded by all the ghosts, this is where we get another X-Files motif, which is even more X-Files than the opening theme was before the main credits. Which again, I just loved. It's like, oh, more X-Files music. This is awesome. It's like we get a spooky Star Trek episode, and we got X-Files music, which is really cool.
Oh.
And then I think we get one more scene in sickbay, Spock. Oh yeah, it's when T'Pring cuts off his ears. Spock always being afraid of his humanity, thinking his humanity is a weakness. And I wrote down, and Kristen, I actually wrote this down before we talked about the whole therapy episode. I wrote down, this is an extreme way to come to terms with his human side, WTF.
Yeah, like literally, like you're sitting there, he is just trying to figure out, she goes, I think this is in the wrong spot. So she talks about his heart being in the wrong spot. I'm just like, yeah, literally what's going on here at this point is that everything is wrong because you're not quite human, you're not quite Vulcan.
Yeah.
So figure, this is just like the roughest way you could ever go through therapy. Like, you gotta choose now.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna be?
I'm gonna choose for you. They did do this a lot better than they did like 2.5 Vulcans. It was I felt like it was well written. I couldn't find anything that I felt like was offensive or could be taken like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was in the ghosts around Lon, there was a dead Andorian, and it really reminded me of Hemmer. I thought, is that supposed to be Hemmer, or is it just a dead Andorian? Yeah.
Somebody said something else about Hammer in the comments.
Mhm.
I didn't even notice him. Like I've got to go back and watch it again. Even though this was a scary episode, this is not one that I'm gonna rewatch a lot.
You watched it up until midnight last night. How did you sleep?
Oh my god! Later on.
Like 2 a.m. That's when it finally happened. I finally got over all the scary stuff, like the fingers.
Yeah. And I had drinking coffee so that I could stay awake. So that didn't help. I was up pretty late.
True. Any weird nightmares?
No.
Yeah. I don't get nightmares if I watch scary stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you, Kristen?
Depends.
Yeah.
It really does depend. Like, majority of the time, I think most of my dreams are nightmares to begin with, but I actually enjoy them. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't know if that's nice or if it makes me creepier. I'm not quite sure.
Do you enjoy the dreams or reading into the dream later?
Well, no, like I'll be like running. I honestly, you know how like when you start running away in your dream and you like immediately wake yourself up?
Yeah.
I don't. I'll keep running.
Okay.
I try to fly every time. And a lot of the times it works.
I'm like, there's a door somewhere coming. I swear, I'm gonna make it through. It's a scary thing. I've been actually killed in my dream several times, and I'm like, I emerge somewhere else. This is kind of fun, like I'm willing to die in my dream.
I didn't know that could happen. I always wake up right before it's time.
You're a
No,
video game character. You respawn.
Yeah, I just respawn somewhere else. Like, I literally have a dream that I remembered from being in high school where they literally vaporized me. And then I respawned in like a pool downstairs. And I was like, this is kind of cool.
Wow. Okay. Interesting dreams and interesting reactions to those dreams.
Well, last night I actually woke up at 6:50 this morning only because, and this wasn't a scary dream. This was just kind of like semi-sad. So I woke up this morning after having like a full story of a dream. And then I saw some pet and I was like, oh, I miss my boys. And I was talking about all my boy pets that I had. And then I woke up and I was thought about all my boy pets and my grandfather and everybody who was like a male that passed away. And I was like, well, I'm not going back to bed now. Why? Because I'm sad.
That explains why you texted back so early this morning, because Heather always wakes us up on Thursday mornings with "It's live day."
It's live day.
It's live day. And
no, I went
Kristen-
right back
That's how
to
I'm
sleep.
saying it when I say it, guys.
Yeah.
I went right back to sleep and woke up at noon. That's why I was like late, to be fair. My one boss goes to me, I just want you to know that you're not working today. And I was like, that's a good thing.
We need days off.
Which, by the way, speaking of live day, your Trek Trio is now officially 100% booked, confirmed, locked, and loaded for Trek 60 in Philadelphia. So me, Kristen, and Heather will be there in Philly. And we will be doing our live from
Together.
Philadelphia that
I got the green
Thursday,
light.
November 12th.
I got the
So
green light
we're
from the
excited.
boss that, I'm good to go.
What?
You coming too?
Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a party.
Yes.
Are you going to be there on Thursday?
I don't know. I've got the green light to do the spend. That's what I had to get the green light for, is the budget, right? So I'm budgeted. I'm good.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
That's-
well, because
that's
like we're
exciting.
also thinking of hitting up Netflix house. Just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can try to come on Thursday, please. This is like the only vacation like I'm ever gonna have, guys.
Aw.
Don't be sad. Jeez,
Yeah.
Louise. I woke up at 6:50 for sad. I don't need extra sad. Anyway, let's get
Ooh.
back into the episode and let everybody talk on the
Yes.
freaking panel,
Yeah,
man.
where are we at? What were we
We
talking
are-
about?
We are in Act 3, 29 minutes and 54 seconds. The crew beams onto the bridge. And my first reaction is like, there's no way that's the real crew, right?
You thought so? I thought
Yeah.
it was. I did not. Here I am again, just taking it
I-
as it is. I thought it was them.
Well,
I side-eyed that part.
Heather, tell us about it. You thought they were real.
Yeah, I did think they were real. I thought they were coming. I mean, it took me a while to really realize that they weren't real. And it was very sad because the things that were happening to them, I was kind of sad to see. Damn,
I
Kirk.
believe it.
Mega.
Kristen, what about you?
I side-eyed that hard. I was like, don't believe it. I don't believe anything right now. The only thing I believe is that Spock, Kirk, and Lahan are real. But even that, I'm wondering whether or not that's fake. I'm not sure what's happening here. But I thought when they came on and originally Pike goes, yo, I think he's gone through enough about Kirk. It just immediately said to me, like we were having the conversation earlier about whether or not Kirk is around too much. It just immediately said to me, like, hey, look, there's now his role model and his brother all in one spot. So again, more therapy for Kirk with his role model and his brother. And
Yeah.
then obviously part of his therapy walks away, but whatever. And I was just like, okay, cool. And then Pike was being very brother, not brotherly, but like role model-y brotherly kind of thing going for him. So it was just very like, okay, this feels like that's supposed to happen.
Yeah. For me, I just thought it was too convenient timing because at the very beginning,
100%.
they even said that he sent out the message to Enterprise on a long range something or other. So it's going to take a long time for that to reach Enterprise.
But they
Yeah,
said
but we were
it
30 minutes
at the
into the
beginning.
episode. So I
They said
genuinely
at the
thought it was them. This was
They
like a
said-
movie. Sorry.
They sent the info at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. But even then, I still, the way that they said it was like on a long range beacon or something, I figure, okay, this is going to take a while. Not immediately through subspace. It's not going to come just like that. It's going to take a minute to get there. I don't know.
Still only took them 45 minutes. Just saying.
True. But also at this point is like, at this point, like there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like weird head games. And I'm like Lon's seeing ghosts and Spock's seeing T'Pring. So of course it's normal that Kirk is now going to see the Enterprise crew.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I also asked myself too, okay, well, if the Enterprise crew's there, why don't we see the Enterprise out the window? Like, did they?
Sam, sorry. My brain went to the comments. My bad.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, no, like, so in the comments, Steven Streck brought up, Sam says Jim was due home 3 days ago. He thought they were there for 3 days. I thought that as well. Kristen, you had a thought on that.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, he said that, and it felt very weird that they already had time slips and all that stuff for 3 days.
Yep. And so that struck me really weird as well. So that's why I'm like, okay, that's a little odd. So
I didn't catch on to that.
Yep.
What was that?
I hit a milestone watching our own live for 50 minutes. So
Oh.
Congratulations.
Know you.
Yep. So, they want to beam away. I'm like, yes, get the hell out now. Of course they can't beam out. Now we hear more spooky crying. And it just gets really weird, on the bridge. Heather, anything else when they beamed on the bridge from you? Aside from thinking they were real?
Let's see. I mean, no, I have a note here, but it doesn't have a timestamp. It says, I'm confused how Kirk actually thinks Harper is alive. Does he not realize he's hallucinating? No. I don't see notes here.
I honestly had a question about the fact that Uhura's reaction to the comm station is a bit weird. And it's like, okay, she shows up and she looks over at the comm station. She's like, well, I can't really do anything with this. But also, isn't the comm station usually on the other side of the ship?
True, but it's a different ship. It could have a different bridge configuration.
Yeah, I'm just saying that majority of the time, isn't it on the other side of the ship?
Different ship, different bridge. Could be, but also maybe that's not where the comm station really was. My point would be, one, Uhura could fix the shit out of that in anywhere, but also we have seen in other episodes of Star Trek that you could still access other stations from other stations. So Kirk ripping up the comm station should not have been an issue. She easily could have accessed comms from another station.
Seriously.
Yep. That's what I think. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to get move to Lon to Deck 17? The turbo lift getting to Deck 17. Is there anything else between them beaming on?
Nope.
No.
Okay. So I wrote down how Lon must be really, really, really needed on Deck 17 because the turbo lift just kept putting him over there.
With the Dexter paper, I did not want her to end up on that floor. Should have Dexter up there.
Yep, the Dexter plastics everywhere. And then, of course, we don't hear this until she gets right up next to it. But then there's a door stuck in a door. Not a door, a chair stuck in a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, couldn't we have heard that from the elevator?
Yeah, that was a pretty decent walk from her. But one thing that I thought was really creepy in that scene was it kept bringing her to Deck 17, but then finally Lon got pissed and she's like, computer, Deck 17. And when it took her to the Deck 17 the last time, it was like, Deck 17, Lon.
Nope.
Yeah. That
Just
was
Show you.
Yep, you're here now. Deal with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
We're
super.
listening.
Yeah, it was super creepy.
We have
Um,
another one of your shining moments because somebody's beating themselves up inside the actual room.
well, it's funny because we saw that Harper was punching a wall, just like how Lon punched a dinosaur.
Breaking her hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have dino boxing from Lon and wall boxing from Harper.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Wall boxing.
Wall boxing.
Plot
Yeah.
gets plot once. It's no longer dinos. It's now walls. They turn into dinos later. Anyway.
What?
So
I rap like the enemy.
anything in Harper's quarters? Any more notes there?
I was just saying how she wanted to keep the crew safe, and of course, that's exactly when Ortega and Ahura meet up with her.
Yep. I really didn't have notes about Ortegas and Uhura meeting up with her, but I'm ready to go back to sickbay when number 1 and Pike are in sickbay with Spock.
Spock's torture tales.
Anything else from Harper's quarters, Heather or Kristen?
No.
Nope.
Cool. So I was wondering, like, why aren't they noticing his ears? Like, no one said, "Oh my God, Spock, what happened to your ears?" Like, so I was really watching this scene carefully. It's like, well, when Ethan Peck sits up, are his ears going to be back to normal? And it's like, no, his ears were like that the rest of the episode. But I just thought that was
big glob of green blood behind him.
Yeah, and so I was like, why aren't they noticing his ears? So again, this is me thinking, it's like, is what's happening really happening?
Right.
We find out later it was, right? But it's like, well, why aren't they noticing his ears? Like, what's going on? It's funny, I didn't take any notes beyond that. Did you guys take any notes about number 1 and Pike and sickbay? This is before they started getting creepy with Spock.
Well, no, I just said that they came to give him a reprieve from being tortured.
Yes, they certainly put a stop to that pretty quickly, at least for now.
Because I didn't believe that it was going to end in any way.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
something's
did write that. I thought that this is whenever I started to feel like that wasn't actually them, because Spock told them that T'Pring was there and none of them questioned it at all. And so I was like, okay, they're not actually.
Finish,
Yeah, that's what
Oscar. This is a new episode. Yes.
Yep, that's what I was wondering too. So it's like, well, is nothing really happening? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, Heather, it didn't take you too long to figure out that they weren't real.
Yeah, no. It was at 38 minutes and 5 seconds.
So
Good job.
look at that. I will say now, unfortunately, we find out that it was never real. But this episode had really good Sam and Kirk moments, but sadly they really didn't happen. So it really was Kirk's manifestation of Sam. But if it was real, it would have been really good moments between them, because we know that they've been estranged for a long time. And so it was really good moments. But now we see Sam Kirk starting to crack up, because now he's starting to hear Peter. Or is it, Peter crying.
Yeah.
So now he's starting to crack up. Now he's starting to hear things.
Yeah, and then the ship locks him inside.
Yep, it locks him on the bridge.
Yep. I also noted the fact that Sam was getting home more than Kirk was. And it was just kind of providing, again, some more therapy towards Kirk, where it's like, okay, you need to spend more time with your family again. Like, hey, how are you able to do these things? And his brother's telling him how he's able to do these things.
Well,
And how much he hated what Dad did, and how much Kirk also hated what Dad did.
Yep, they were talking about his dad, their dad as well. Now, this is a reminder for those of you who don't know the different timelines. Kirk's father is alive in the Prime universe. However, in the Kelvin timeline, Kirk's father, played by Chris Hemsworth, was killed at the beginning of Star Trek 2009. So just keep that in mind. We're in the Prime timeline. We're in the Prime universe. So in case anyone thinking that's a continuity error, just remember we're in the Prime universe. Just as a reminder for everyone joining us, spoilers, we are reviewing Strange New Worlds Season 4, Episode 2, The Griffin Incident, which dropped 12 hours ago. So please don't forget spoilers.
Yes.
So we are at the point now where Uhura and Ortegas and Lon are trying to beam off the ship.
I hated this part.
Tell us, what are your notes about it?
My notes, Why is it important to show us Erica suffering like that? You said, and I mean, I'm just kidding. Like you said that she set the transporter to beam Erica into herself to fuse her, and I'm like, holy sheesh, that's like being two-vixed with yourself. It's awful. I hated it, and it was like a long time that we see Erica just like glitching out. I hated it. It was amazing effects, and that's why I disliked it so much. Like I loved. It's not that I disliked it. It got me in the feels. It was very good.
It was good, but and now again, those of you joining us on YouTube, those of you watching live on TikTok, tell us in the comments, did this remind you of the transporter accident scene from Star Trek the Motion Picture? Because it was very reminiscent of that scene.
Yes.
Not even that, but Melissa Navia, who played Erica, even moved and acted like the character like the female character in Star Trek the Motion Picture. Their motions were so similar. And I clocked it immediately because there were screenshots or images released by Paramount from this scene. And Trek Trio, if you want, Trek Trio, that's us. Bill, if you want to switch me to the big screen, or switch yourself with me to big screen, we got the scene paused.
I'm showing it. Oh yes,
there.
let's do it.
And it's like look at that. That moment right there is so similar to Star Trek the Motion Picture. It was a great and terrifying homage to that. It was also, so it's funny. So many people find the transporter accident in the motion picture very horrifying. It didn't bother me at all. This one was a lot more horrifying because you really, even though the characters in the motion picture were screaming, they were writhing in pain, I think this is more terrifying because you know Ortegas. Yeah. You didn't know Commander Sonak, and you didn't know the unnamed female character from Star Trek the Motion Picture. This one was a lot more intense because we know Erica. And also, what would happen if you beamed someone into someone and fused them? That's such a weird phenomenon. I didn't even think such a thing could be possible. So, yeah. Kristen, what did you think?
For that.
I just thought she looked like the butt neck lady from that. I keep going back to like the scariest, like she just looked like the butt neck lady because she had her neck completely sideways for it.
I mean, I still wasn't sure that this wasn't the actual, like, Ortegas. So, like, there was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, they're giving her a Tasha Yar death here. But,
at least they saved her into the buffer.
Yeah.
I couldn't see her as being gone at this episode. It was just, it was like, nah.
Still messed with my mind. I still, like, some people were in the comments were saying that I still don't feel like my mind will ever be the same. Like,
But this episode was supposed to mess with your mind.
It did.
Yeah.
Whole storyline.
Okay, let's go back to the bridge and let's talk about one of the big body horror scenes of this episode. Sam getting sucked into space.
Sam literally turns around, smiles at Kirk, and goes like, "Say I love you to my family for me." And it was just like, dude. Sorry, my dog she got up on my lap for everywhere.
Yeah, we saw your pup.
Yeah, I love you to my family for me. And it's just like, dude, you literally turned around like you were like slyly saying like, I'm going through that window anyway. Like,
you skipped the scene, Scott.
What's that?
You skipped the scene.
What did I skip?
With Una cutting herself in the stomach, saying that was like her way of like setting herself free.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even make a note on that. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's saying free in general. Like, isn't it just like, it's not just Una, it was somebody else too.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't even know if it was Una that said that. Well, I just said they were saying it around that time.
Yeah, Una said it because she says her Illyrian blood is the only thing keeping her, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was so weird. She just like makes a cut into her abdomen, and she's just like, "Now I'm gone and dead," and it's just like
smiles and falls. Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't equal death. I I'm sorry. Like, how did you? No, you didn't even hit an artery. Come on.
Maybe for an Illyrian it does.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't even take notes on that. Did you, Heather, at all?
Oh no, I mean I just wrote I just wrote what happened. Just so I could remind myself because it was freaking weird.
It was.
What did I write on it? Pike and Una take Spock back to sickbay. A ship wants to set them free. Una goes first and kills herself. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where they just like went in a big circle, which I thought was really cool. It's just like they went from one end of sickbay to the other, which was funny.
Oh, Pike chopping carrots or Pike with the knife was the worst.
Yeah, but that's not yet.
We're not there yet.
I know, but these talking in the comments.
I see it. We'll get there. I love the actor for Pike because every time I see him doing a crazy episode, it's just he is just so there. So there and ready to be crazy himself.
Yep.
He has it on his face. He is enjoying every part of it. And yes, I see Brandon saying it down there. It's just like every part of it. He's just enjoying it. Yeah. I thought when he came onto the deck, I forgot about this. Thought when he came onto the deck, I was like, yeah, he's got himself his raptor hair going on there too.
He got bigger.
Yeah. We got the Pike's Peak. So yeah, back on so I have notes about the scene with Sam and Kirk on the bridge, and this is something I picked up on. I don't know if you did too. And those of you in the chat or watching us on YouTube, let us know in the comments if you picked up on this. Sam is telling Kirk that he can't save everyone. And like he's telling Kirk he will never be free. And this entire scene is about you will never be free. We need to be free, stuff like that. Between Sam and Kirk and Spock and Una and Pike. And don't know if Lon had a scene or not, but everything else is happening.
Lon has it with she has it with Harper.
With Harper. Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is a lot of foreshadowing to me, and also like not foreshadowing, but like it feeds into what we know about Captain Kirk, because he's telling Kirk that he can't save everyone. He will never be free because of that. And that fits Kirk's attitude with the no-win scenario. So like this episode has a lot of implications for Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. We learn more about David. We learn more about Carol. We hear Sam is trying to tell Kirk that you can't come to grips that you can't save everyone, because Kirk famously says he doesn't believe in a no-win scenario, and that's why he cheated on the Kobayashi Maru. He doesn't believe in a no-win scenario. He never believed in a no-win scenario, and I don't think he ever did. So is that telling us that Kirk never was fully free and likely never will be? Like, I think it is. It's like there's so much like in like looking into Kirk's character, and there's so much connected to Kirk's future in this episode. Like, this was a great, solid Kirk episode. Even though it was Lon's episode, this was a good Kirk episode because there was so much connected to his future. And Sam's basically telling him at this point, like, you don't believe the no-win scenario, you will never be free. You have to understand that you can't save everyone. And Kirk has never believed that. And even in Star Trek II, Saavik and David both call him out by saying that he never faced death.
Always the hero.
Always the hero. That's what I have in my
Phil
notes.
was like just on it.
That was perfect.
And this is why we have a producer.
Yes.
Always accept that you will never be free.
Yep.
But don't worry. The Griffin's gonna show you the way.
Griffin's gonna show you the way.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is.
That one was extra because the way how he turns around, it's just the way he turns around. And he just goes like a happier face to make him understand that he'll never be free from that. And yes, you're right, Scott. Like, it's been a lesson he still has not learned to deal with.
And remember, like, and Brandon brought this up in the comments, because Kirk is manifesting this, we know this is Kirk's fear. So Kirk has carried this fear with him since day one, and probably through every mission that we've seen him on through Star Trek Generations. It's like, this is his fear that he can't save everyone, which is why Kirk doesn't believe in a no-win scenario.
Yep.
Yeah, but Star Trek II forced Kirk to face death. Star Trek II was a growth moment for Kirk, but let's understand, we know how James T. Kirk is, and we saw him lose David in Star Trek III. So while Star Trek II was a growth moment for Kirk, Kirk had to face death again, just months, or not even months later, just like weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get, what I call the alien resurrection scene. We're at 42 minutes, 53 seconds. Anyone who's seen Alien Resurrection and saw the newborn, the very grotesque scene with the newborn get sucked into space, I honestly thought that's what we were going to get with Sam. We didn't see a lot of gore with Sam, but we saw just enough.
That was way enough gore with Sam. Everything, yes. What the Heather said. It's just coming out of his back like it was like,
more
we
than you've
sliced
seen in
you
anything.
just right. Everything going out.
But you guys, I'm going to send you guys a scene from Alien 4.
Please
It could have been a lot.
No, thank
Trust me,
you.
it could have been a lot worse.
It can always be worse, but this is a family show.
It could have been a lot
Not
worse.
this episode.
I know, but there was no warning.
Well, I think all of Star Trek is rated TV MA on Paramount Plus.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
there was a slight warning.
Okay, cool. Anyway, we're getting back to Lon is the only failed one as she jumps into a roll of her blood because she goes after Ahura here.
Yep.
And Ahura is just like, I don't trust you at all. It's like, okay, Ahura never trusted Lon. Got it. Like, she could never think that Lon somehow accidentally did what she did to Ortega. That would make way more sense in this scene than Ahura running.
Well, I think it's Lon's fear that no one trusts her. I think Lon is always afraid that people are going to think that she's an augment.
That gets back to the therapy part where this is all happening.
This was a well-written episode. Every single thing had meaning behind it like that. Good. You clocked that good.
Yep, Kristen clocked it first, and then we're at the point where because I was watching while you guys were talking on the chat. So I started watching it a lot differently when Kristen brought it up. So yeah, Kristen gets the credit for clocking the exposure therapy, extreme ass exposure therapy. Like, holy shit.
So much therapy, like literally, okay, so we have a ship that can't be found, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it wants to be found, and it's found, and then everybody who's on the ship gets saved when it wanted them to get saved. Just saying. They were just about at the point where they're all gonna go. But
this one wasn't
yet.
mine.
Anyway.
This was not a Scott Cause crash out, just for the record.
You're right.
We're not there yet. I got a crash. I have at least that crash out. That one's coming. I have one. I had one that I knew was coming.
I can't wait to see.
We're at the point where the captain doesn't know how to cut his vegetables for some reason, and
Yes.
I'm just like, he is the most expert cutter in the world. However, he cannot cut his vegetables, but his fingers. He can do that.
I don't want to be a captain anymore.
We are now.
He wants to be a chef, and then he cuts off his fingers.
We are now at 45
he's like,
minutes.
dog for the one thing, and then he's just like, oh no, I know how to cut again.
They could have easily done that a different way where we didn't have to see every single slice.
Heather crash out.
I hated all of the body horror in this episode. It just kept, like, by the end, once we were at the point where Pike is chopping off his fingers, like, I was just like, oh, well, here we go again. I'm still closing my eyes a little bit, though.
Heather got a crash out for once. That doesn't happen often.
Also, how does, I I could put this as this. Pike was passed out, but they implied that he just murked himself over fingers.
Yeah.
How are you murking yourself over your fingers?
Yep.
That
They
would
did.
be impressive.
He can't be a chef now. He just his body gave up because he gave up being a captain, and he can't be a chef either.
Yeah, and
Without
the Pike's
fingers.
just standing there, just going like, "Yeah, that's about right."
And then he just keels over. But also, like, this goes back to what we were saying with Una. Like, just a very superficial cut on her belly was enough to just go, "Oop." Yeah.
We're you know what? This girl has had so many injuries, and we're just like, one full cut. Okay, we passed out now. Like,
Now, in the comments, Katie's saying how she didn't want to see all that, and Heather, this is the scene that
not
affected
blame
you.
either of
because
you. I didn't either.
You kept talking about this. Let's not like seeing it is one thing, but can we talk about the sound his fingers made when he did that?
No, that was the worst. Saying the word moist. All right, don't talk about the sound.
Hold on, Bill's gonna show us here. I think it's
No, Bill. What are you doing? No, Bill.
Why
no,
are we doing
no,
that?
no, no. Why would you make him do that? No,
I can
no,
close
we're
my
gonna lose
eyes
every
again.
year if you do that. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh.
Anyway,
you're gonna regret
Topanga
getting a
is showing
producer.
how logic works. Topanga is like logic to Spock, and Spock is like, yeah, I'll use that to my advantage, and goes like straight into how therapy can win. And he was like, therapy time. We're winning this game. I'm done with this. No more worrying about everybody else in this room. They are not real. We are done.
When he starts chanting the chant.
So I thought that was really cool. He literally worked the haunting, the evil against itself, because he's reciting the chant that T'Pring told him, and it's like he literally outsmarted it, which is crazy, right? Because clearly we knew that there were Vulcan away team members on the ship before, and it got them, but somehow Spock was able to outsmart it.
Well, Spock has more emotions than the other ones, and he has to work harder to get his emotions down. So therefore, Spock was more able to actually... Just joking.
Are you making fun of me pushing my glasses up every 5 seconds?
Oh, I didn't know what that was
Standard
for.
nerd. All right, leave me alone.
Nerd.
I also have glasses and do that on my own.
I thought that was a clever part. The most clever part of the episode is like, oh shit, like you use the evil against itself. Like only Spock could do that shit. Like it was cool.
And of course, we at the same time find La'an and Kirk in the hallway, and something bad happens.
But before we do that, though, we find what sickbay really looked like.
Okay,
Because
yeah,
remember
you're right.
we talked about this earlier. The ship showed things and it hid things and it manipulated things. Now that Spock recentered itself, now we see what sickbay really looks like. So
a lot of beds filled with a bit of bones.
corpses. Mhm. Yep. And of course, it's even creepy that the ship had Spock cut his own ears off.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. It's awful.
So I think the reason that I thought I could talk about this, about what happened with La'an and Kirk, is because after La'an does what she does to Kirk, which is
She pokes him. She pokes Kirk.
pokes him.
Mm-hmm.
Hard. Deep.
The film changes for both Kirk and Spock. Like, the orientation of the film changes. Throughout this whole entire thing, we've had a fuzzy film feel throughout everything. And as soon as you see Kirk, after what happened with La'an, it's completely gone. Like, he is officially not hearing babies crying. It's official. He is in the moment as well as Kirk. And the two of them are just like, this is the end. We're done. And La'an is still, on the other hand, framing back to her, everything's fuzzy. And it's actually probably a little bit more pronounced now because they want to prove that she is still in that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore.
She 100% is. But can we talk about the eerie foreshadowing about David?
Yes,
Like-
I have it written down. Your little boy is going to die just like you at the end of a blade bleeding out in a dark corner of space.
She called it. Alone. Did she say alone? I don't know if she said alone. But because David wasn't alone. But yeah,
no, she just said at the end of a blade out in the dark corner of space, because I wrote it word for word.
Yep. What'd you think, Heather?
I don't know what happened to David. I missed that. Or I didn't think about that.
David, so David, what we're talking about is in the future when in one of the movies David gets killed via Klingon.
Yep. So in Star Trek 3, remember.
Was that
I don't remember much, but I remember that.
That was calling that out, because how would they know that unless Lon has a little bit more superpower to her?
Remember,
Or
this
it's
is
not
Lon,
on,
by the
but
ghost
the
ship.
ship itself has the superpower and knows what the future is.
Yep.
Ghost Ship has basically told Kirk both how he's going to die and how his son's going to die.
Yep.
Oh,
It's a
Indeed.
wicked ass ship, man.
It is. It was possessed. It was possessed, so some eerie foreshadowing, but they finally make it home at 49 minutes, 30 seconds.
They're
home.
transported to
Everyone's...
the transporter room where I now have a crash out.
Okay, here we
Let's
go. It's time for Kristen's crash out in the
If you
transporter
do
room.
not know what I'm going to be upset about, there's absolutely... Why the freak is he still on the transporter space? Why is he not being transported straight to freaking sickbay? Why is he... Hell, you better turn that down. I'm going...
No, this is your crash out theme. You own it, Kristen.
yeah, go with
Like,
it.
why is he there? Why isn't he in sickbay? Why are they just sitting there going like, all right, we're just going to let this play out?
Well, why didn't they use the medical transporter in sickbay? Sickbay literally has a medical transporter.
Exactly. What is going on? You are transporting these people. You can see in the transporter there's something wrong. First off, Spock's got his ears weird and everything. You can see that's wrong. Throw him to sickbay. You can see that he is literally bleeding out on the spaceship because, like, you are doing things. Unless the spaceship is like, whatever, okay, we're cool. We can't see into the spaceship. That's great. However, at the same time he gets there, I wouldn't have cared what the hell Lon's doing. Immediate, see the blood, him on the ground, send him to freaking sickbay.
Oops, wrong place. yeah, send him
It
on.
doesn't take that many buttons. And if it does, they really need to rethink their UX UI.
Well,
Get back
also,
to eating
it's
my
like,
pickle.
why doesn't the transporter scan for weapons? Is that only an invention in the 24th century? Because I remember many episodes of Next Generation, they're able to detect and remove weapons in the transporter beam. So maybe that's not invented yet, but it's like Katie in the comments even asked, why are you just standing there while Lon's just holding her blade like that? It's like, okay, can we do something about this, please?
Yeah, like Luna should be in there real fast and just be like pulling her to the other side of the freaking transporter. What the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Yep. The ship drove them mad, just like the Overlook did.
And Kirk's the one telling her to calm down. You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah,
We were
Kirk's
just
trying.
hoping that would work. What if that didn't work? Thankfully,
He's
she
just
did.
laying there bleeding out. He's like, it's
Also-
fine.
Calm down.
Also,
You're okay.
Kirk has
You're
a
okay,
huge-
baby.
Sorry, Heather. You deserve to. I've been talking a lot.
No, I was done. You're okay.
Kirk has a huge hole in the middle of his body. Still not passed out or dead like either Una or freaking Mike.
Oh, wow. You're so right.
Well, they also weren't real, but
Well,
also we know how tough James T. Kirk is. Yeah. So Heather, any more notes at the transporter room, them getting off the ship? Anything else on your end?
no, I don't. Give me a minute to see. Oh, if I have anything that pops up, there's a lot written here. Let me scan through it while y'all talk.
All right. So Kirk, or Pike and Mabenga are walking down the corridor, and we get yet another mention of Division 12. I'm like, we're laying the groundwork here, but are we going to see any of it now that the franchise has ended? I am sad.
I want to know what happened with the what is it? Six of them.
Six cases were aliens, and the other two are still.
4 of them were scientific or aliens, and 2 of them were unknown. What are the unknown? I swear they were trying to make this into a series.
Yep.
That was too much Division 12 conversation. It was.
Yep. Heather, what do you got from your notes?
No, this is we've all been talking about like the I guess this is right about in these notes is when at like 50 minutes in is whenever I really started to think about what we've already been talking about, like how Spock was wrestling with the different sides of being Vulcan, and maybe he has a fear that he's losing his Vulcan side. La'an is scared that she'd had recessive augment genes that have been activated. She was fearful she's a monster, and then she became one. And in the beginning of the episode, Kirk was wrestling with feeling as if he should be somewhere else, and then he had hallucinations of his child being hurt. So this is just when I started to really start to question, like, what was the meaning behind the ship doing this, and what was the meaning behind the episode?
It certainly wasn't beneficial. I think there's a lot of horror movies where some kind of malevolent being is supposed to bring out your fears and uses them against you, and that's what this ship was doing. It was manifesting everyone's fears and insecurities and using them against them.
Character development.
Yep, character development for sure. Yeah, I wrote down that everyone is going to need some heavy therapy after this.
PTSD.
I don't think therapy is enough. Therapy is not enough. They are changed.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why there are counselors on starships in the 24th century.
Yeah.
What?
This is why they have counselors on starships in the 24th century. This episode right here.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to run across a ghost ship that's going to fuck with everybody's heads.
And make it so you never want to go back to medbay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? But I do think it was cool that this is now Christine fixing Spock's ears the second time. The first time she gave him his little hypospray. The second time she's literally regenerating them back on.
She was so gentle with him too, and went to his room.
Yeah.
She was a little butthurt at the end of that, though. She was like, "Why was it to Pring and not me?"
I was questioning why it was to Pring too, but I didn't think that it would be Chapel.
I didn't think so either. But we know Chapel loves Spock. We even see it in in TOS.
Yeah.
And again, this is my little Jess Bush bangs appreciation moment. She looks so damn cute with those bangs.
Oh, I love the bangs.
Me too.
Can we just talk for a second about how I don't know if I can zoom in well enough. I might have to scoot the camera closer. How good of a job?
Oh yeah.
You can
the
see
makeup department.
You can see the makeup crease, but it just looks like a normal fold right there in his ear.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yep, they're pretty solid. They pay some really good attention in this show for sure.
They learn their lessons on how to make things look good.
Yep.
Because we critique it all.
And then of course Spock tells to Pring he's fine. And I'm like,
even
Spock,
in my job sometimes I get that. Like, if you're not consistent with things, they'll somebody out there like us will literally go like to town on it.
Yeah. I like how Spock told Christine that he's fine, and I wrote down, Spock, you are not fine.
Not fine. Nobody would be fine.
Said it. Every single one of them says it. So, like, I even actually made a note about that Kirk even says, I'm all right. But then there's that whole scene, so I'm just going to jump around here. There's the whole scene where Kirk is sitting there, and Uhura's talking to him about the cookies. And literally, after he picks up the cookies and says to Uhura, no, it's okay, leave them, he never touches them again.
Oh.
He ain't all right.
Well,
but he says I'm all right.
Also, we never saw Carol pick up. Did she really ever pick up, or did she not pick up? It made me, I was so sad. It's like Carol never picked up. That was sad.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing you could do is call Sam and make sure Sam's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, Lon keeps saying that, Starfleet's her family. She feels so alone. And this was the biggest thing that was from our Science of Fear video. The empty room. Our mind fucks with us when we are afraid. And like Lon was literally experiencing the empty room because all she does is feel alone. She keeps saying that Starfleet is her family, but she feels so alone every single moment. Every waking moment, Lon feels alone. And she can say that Starfleet's her family, but I can tell you from experience, she feels alone. And so this is the empty room, is the whole scenario that she does feel alone, and it hooked onto her. And maybe Rose Harper felt the same way. Maybe Rose had no other family. Maybe she devoted every waking moment to Starfleet, and maybe Rose felt alone, and that's why the starship hooked into her.
Yep, there's plenty of people within Starfleet that are technically like only children or lost all their family, and they went to Starfleet for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
We're at a point where I think I have to go feed the dogs because they're giving me extra faces.
Yeah. Go feed your dogs. I wrote down that something big is happening to Lon, and this is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the creepy ending, because we see Harper just going as the ship is towed away.
Yeah, and should she have still been able to see her? I don't know, buddy. I feel like that in itself was them like kind of foreshadowing a little bit that Lon is definitely not okay. She's still wrestling with something, still unsure of who she is. And the ending is when I really was like, man, I really can see Lon becoming the villain. How do we know that the ghost isn't somewhat still inside of her traveling with her? We don't know who she is or what's going to happen.
It very well could be.